let's do some makeup tips that elevated my makeup. The first thing that I think is skipped quite a lot, and I learned it like through my time on like shoots and whatnot with like professional makeup artists and stuff. Skin prep is easily the most important step. You have to hydrate your skin and sort of prep it beforehand so that the makeup can stay all day. So the first thing that I like to go in with is the Inky List Water Omega Cream. It's just so good for hydrating your skin, and especially I use the salicylic acid cleanser. So I just feel like it rehydrates and moisturizes my face so much. So I literally just go in circular motions, I drag it into my neck, and I let it sit for like a minute or two. I then go in with the Rhode Glazing Milk, and I love this stuff. I love mixing it with my foundation, or I like just using it by itself as skincare. But I literally just put that on my hand, like that much, put it over my face, and I just sort of tap it in. I did see this on Hailey Bieber's thing, so I'm just taking steps from her. But I literally just tap that into the skin. And again, I let this sit for a minute too, just because I want it to be a bit more tacky. Never ever want to forget SPF, even if it's not sunny. So right now I'm just using the Super Goop Glow Screen. And then I mix that with my Drunk Elephant Multi-Peptide Moisturizer. And then I go in with some bronzing drops as well. Once you're happy with all your products, I just let this sit for around 3 to 5 minutes. I just like it to be really locked into the skin. So just go ahead and just do something for 3 or 5 minutes. So something like this, it's going to be very bouncy and firm and quite tacky and obviously very glowy. The last thing that I do is I use a primer. I love the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer. And I literally just put this. I primarily like to focus on my T-zone because I feel like it just hides my pores quite well. So I literally just sort of, again, blend that into the skin. And again, you want to wait around a minute or so just for the primer to actually be locked into the skin. I never took the base as very, very serious. I used to just think that just layering products on immediately would just give you a good base, and especially using like really trending products. And my makeup never ever looked good. Like it would always flake, it wouldn't last the whole day. So I was always like, what the hell? Like, why? I have the exact same makeup as that girl and it's not looking the same. It's all to do with skin prep. Trust me. Okay, next you're going to want to go in with concealer. I used to wear foundation and then I just realized it wasn't for my skin. So you want to just conceal areas that are red for you and just anywhere where you would naturally, I guess, place your concealer. Now, I go in with a brush. So this is just the Hourglass concealer brush. And I like to just tap in the concealer and sort of spread it out. The reason I like to go in with the brush first is I just feel like it's a little bit more, it sort of melts the makeup a little bit more. I know some people like to go in with their hands, but I just prefer a brush. I'm definitely a brush kind of girl. Then I go with my Laura Mercier. This is the Translucent Hydrating Setting Spray, and it's supposed to be ultra blurring, which it is. And I just literally spray that all over my face. And this is where I use a beauty blender and I blend in the remaining pieces of concealer and anything that I feel like has still got harsh lines on the face. Okay, once this is sat for like a minute, 2 minutes, you want to go with contour. And now my biggest thing for contour is find a shade that suits your undertone. So if you're a warm colored girly, then you go for something a bit more warm. I recommend the Hourglass. It's like a stick. It's like a triangle stick. It's so good. It bronzes up the face, but that's more of like a bronzer. Whereas if you're cool toned like me, I prefer a contour. So this is the Morphe Shape Lifter Micro Contour Stick. The reason I like this is because it's so precise and the color is absolutely stunning. So I will literally just contour faint lines and I will kind of carve out the way I want my face to look the whole day. So I'll contour the top of my forehead, and then for nose contour it definitely varies from person to person. So I definitely would go through a few tutorials and just figure out what it is that you like the best. And then I like to go into my eye as well and just contour a more lifted shape. So always drag up the contour and contour the way that you will. I cannot stress you guys how important a brush is, or a good brush set. So right now I'm using the Bobbi Brown. It's a foundation brush, but I really love a stippling brush for contour. I love the fact that you can just tap that into the skin, and this contour is so good because it literally just melts into the skin and it doesn't leave any harsh lines at all. It just sort of mimics natural shadowing, which is definitely a plus. Again, with blush, you want to make sure that it is your undertone and you want a lifted look, so always apply at the top of the cheekbone. I use the shade Toasted Teddy from Rhode, so if you're my shade twin, this is it. For powder, I use Huda Beauty in Pound Cake, and I like to literally just set my under eyes. I don't go through my entire face. I don't like very, very matte. I actually enjoy having a little bit of glow and a bit of a dew. So I literally just set my under eyes, but I don't bake. I just put it under and I tap that in really, really well. I like to put some just here under my cheekbone, just to sort of carve it out a little bit more and give it just that little bit more of definition before I add bronzer. And while that's setting, I go in with Cherry Blossom just underneath the eyes, just to brighten it up a little bit more. Bronzer, I choose a much warmer shade than my contour, but I only add a little bit, and only towards the ends and the top. So the ends, the outside of my cheeks, and then the top of my forehead, just to sort of give a little bit more colour to the face. For blush, I would recommend, powder blush, I would recommend something that is more or less the same as your liquid blush, just so it blends much nicer on the skin and it looks more put together and natural. The last step of my base that I do is highlighter, and I prefer a Glow Balm. This is from Iconic London, and I literally just tap that into the high points of my face just to re-add a bit more of that glow. Again, for lips, find something that is your sort of undertone and your shade. And I do not like to overline. I like to, I guess you could say, underline. So I literally will just follow the shape of my lip just to carve out how I want it to look. My biggest tip would be, before you do any mascara, do not touch your eyes. Always put setting spray on first. I just feel like if you put mascara on before you add setting spray, because it's like quite liquidy, it will literally weigh down the eye and give like a more droopy effect, whereas we want a more lifted effect. But anyways, I genuinely feel like I have perfected my base makeup. Dare I say, it looks stunning. And this is my finished makeup look. Oh, also, always go for brown over black mascara if you are a light-haired girly like me. Yeah, these are just my tips and tricks that I've learned across the years, and I definitely feel like it has paid off. Bye.